Going to call this meeting to order. Could you take the roll, please, Janie?
Dave M. Spoker,
Present.
Tom Beller,
Here.
Tamara Seaton Cook,
Here.
Paul Gaines.
Here.
Brendan Lawmeister,
Here.
James Lorimer,
Here.
John Stutzman. We have quorum.
Thank you. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have presentations. We're going to have some experts tell us about the open meeting law. Could you please state your name for us?
Yes, I was just going to get this open, but my name is Amy Schreiber, and I'm the Deputy City Attorney at the Kingman City Attorney's Office. Let me get this pulled up. All right. Like I said, my name is Amy Schreiber. I'm the Deputy City Attorney for the City of Kingman. And this is the annual open meeting law training that we're now doing yearly, just so everyone gets a refresher. Is it the space bar? Okay, it's not going, so. All right. General provisions of open meeting law. It's the public policy that the state that meetings of public bodies be conducted openly and that notices and agendas be provided for such meetings which contain such information that's reasonably necessary to inform the public of the things that are going to be discussed at the meetings. Who must comply with open meeting law? You must comply with open meeting law as a commission. All meetings of any public body shall be public meetings, and all persons desiring to be permitted to attend and listen to the deliberations and proceedings should have notice. What does this mean? Generally, just that the public's business must be conducted in public. Why does open meeting law matter? It protects the public's right to participate in their government and to be informed of what's going on with their government. And it protects public officials and maintains integrity of the government. Who must comply with open meeting law? As I said before, you must comply. A public body is defined as the legislator, all boards and commissions of the state or political subdivision, standing, special, or advisory committees or subcommittees appointed by the public body. What is a meeting? Obviously, when we think of a meeting, what we're having right now is considered a meeting. But we're going to talk about a little later how you can actually have a meeting through technological devices, even if you don't necessarily mean to, by a quorum. What is a quorum? It's defined as a majority of the members of a board or a commission. Vacant positions do not reduce the quorum requirement. So if you have a 7-person commission, that's going to be 4 people for a quorum. Like I said before, meetings can happen on technological devices through email, texting, social media. An example of that would be if staff sent everyone on the commission an email about a matter that was going to come before you guys and someone replied all. You could potentially, bless you, be in danger of violating open meeting law just because you're talking about something before it comes before the public, before they have a right to know what's going on. Likewise, if you were to post something on Facebook about an item that was going to come before this commission and said, I think this is great, I'm going to vote in favor of this, someone else from the commission comments and says, I'm going to vote in favor of it too, and then someone likes it, and so on, you could be in danger of creating a quorum and violating open meeting law. Splintering the quorum, I call this the game of telephone. So that's when one person on the commission talks to someone and says, I don't like this, or I do like this, I'm going to vote for it, vote against it. Then they go talk to someone else, they go talk to someone else, and then it creates a quorum in that way. Informing the public, no meeting shall take place with less than 24 hours notice to the general public and each member of the public body. We obviously try to do quite a bit more than that, more notice, but I will say there have been times it was less than 24 hours before the meeting and we got a call, hey, we accidentally put on the agenda that the meeting was going to be at this time, but it's actually at this time, or we put the wrong location. You can't have it. You're going to have to move it because the public needs to be told more than 24 hours ahead of time where it's going to take place, when it's going to take place. Like I said before, agendas must include notice of the date, time, location. Want to make sure that that's accurate. They are supposed to include an agenda of specific matters to be discussed, considered, and decided at the meeting. They must contain such information as is reasonably necessary to inform the public of the matters to be discussed or decided. The other matters must, in some reasonable manner, be related to an item specifically listed on the agenda. It's usually Carl who's at the council meetings. I've had to sit over there too, and when the discussions are just getting way off track and it would be very difficult to argue that it was reasonably related to anything that was on the agenda, we gently guide back to what is on the agenda. And yeah, at these types of meetings, it's going to be up to the chair or staff to redirect to what's actually on the agenda. Like I said, only items that are specifically listed on the agenda can be considered. If it's not on the agenda, it shouldn't be discussed. If an action is taken on an item that's not been properly noticed to the public, that particular action violates open meeting law and it's null and void. Calls to the public. An open call to the public is an agenda item that allows the public to address the public body on topics of concern, even though the topic is not listed on the agenda. These are actually not mandated by state statute, but we choose to have them. You can impose a reasonable time limit on the speakers. We do 3 minutes. Calls to the public. As a public body, you have 4 options during the call to the public. If someone directly criticizes you in the call to the public, at the close of the call to the public, you are able to respond to that criticism. You could ask staff to review the item, ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda, or you can just sit in silence. The public has the right to attend, listen, tape record, videotape. They do not have the right to speak unless it's during a designated call to the public, and they do not have the right to be disruptive. Sanctions for violations of open meeting law. If a public officer knowingly violates open meeting law, the court may impose a civil penalty. If they knowingly violate the law with the intent to deprive the public of information, the public officer may be removed from office in order to pay attorney's fees. All legal action done by any public body during a meeting held in violation of open meeting law is going to be null and void. The Attorney General's office is the one that's going to enforce, the sanctions or penalties for open meeting law. They are more about education than punishing people. How it works is someone will file a complaint. AG's office will look into it. They draft up what they what the facts are, what happened, and then my office gets a chance to respond. Most of the time, it wasn't an actual violation, but it is. But if it is, like I said, the AG's office is more about education than punishing people. So we will say, hey, this was a violation, but this is what we're going to do to remedy it. We're going to do more trainings, things like that. Conflicts of interest. It's illegal to declare a conflict of interest under Arizona law or to participate or otherwise be involved in discussion on issues or contracts where such a conflict exists. This covers all public officers and employees. Also applies to private interests of public officials or employees' relatives. Find out ahead of time what your conflicts are. Call the city attorney's office. I know there was potentially an issue with that, and Doug did just call the city, my boss, to ask if something was a conflict. So we will address that when it's appropriate.
Ms. Shriver, I guess,
Yes.
I don't know if this was the same topic or not. I have a question about conflict of interest.
Okay.
So Mr. Sluice is going to be speaking on a museum thing here today, and I'm involved with another museum that's located at the airport, and this museums could affect each other in some ways or another. So when this topic comes up, for example, is this something that I cannot have a discussion about or just can't vote on, or it's, they're the same?
Yes, that's what I called them about.
Okay.
Is that if there's a chance where some type of monetary benefit could be swayed in one way or the other, then that would be considered a conflict.
So when that item comes up today, I cannot or will not be talking or cannot comment on it, is that correct?
We're thinking that maybe if there's a gray area, it's always best to go ahead and excuse yourself
Okay.
to prevent from crossing that line.
So what typically happens is you would just go in the back library
Okay.
while that's being discussed, when it's voted on, and then
Okay.
someone would come get you and
Okay.
bring you back.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Some of the, exceptions to a conflict of interest are going to be remote interests that are so minor that they don't constitute illegal conflicts of interest. If you have only these remote interests, you can discuss and you can vote. Those are all under Arizona Revised Statute 38-502, subsection 10. And those are all listed in there. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's quite a few. But again, it's always best to just before the meeting, if you see something on the agenda and you're like, oh, that kind of like sets off your spidey senses, like, oh, I might, have a monetary interest with that. It's always best to just call our office and see what your conflicts are. And again, they're mostly under section 38, mostly in that 431, 501, 511 section of Arizona Revised Statutes. Basic parliamentary procedure. It's a set of rules for conduct at meetings that allows everyone to be heard and make decisions without confusion. It's important because it's a time-tested method of conducting business at meetings and public gatherings. It's adapted to fit the need of any organization. It's important that everyone know the basic rules. One of the biggest things is going to be a motion that is commonly used in these meetings. It's a proposal that the entire membership take an action or stand on an issue. Motions are just how you formally are going to express yourself for something that you want. There are three basic types of motions. The one that you're really going to be dealing with is that main motion. It's the purpose is to introduce items to the membership for their consideration. They cannot be made when any other motion is on the floor, and they yield to the other motions. So basically what your motion is going to be, motion to approve or motion to deny, and then it's voted on, is basically how that goes. How are motions presented? Obtaining the floor, obviously wait until the last person is done speaking. Address the chairperson, and I would like to make chairman. I'd like to make a motion. Wait until they recognize you. Speak in a clear and concise manner when you're making your motions. Speak affirmatively. Say "I move that we," rather than things like "I move that we do not." Avoid personalities and stay on your subject. Then you're going to wait for someone else to second your motion. Another member will second your motion, or the chairperson will call for a second. If there's no second, then your motion is lost. Essentially, it dies. Then after that, the chairperson is going to state your motion. It's been moved and seconded that and then the membership either decides that they're going to debate your motion, have further discussion, or they just may move directly to a vote. And then everyone votes. The motion either carries or fails. If there is a tie, it dies, it fails. That is what a tie does. Parliamentary procedure is the best way to get things done at your meetings. It will only work if you use it properly. The main things to do are allow motions that are in order, have members obtain the floor properly, not speaking over each other, speak clearly and concisely, use that affirmative language, obey the rules of debate, and most importantly, just be courteous, which is a good rule for any facet of life. So. And with that, I am done. And did anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
No problem. All right.
All right, my name is Tanya Ferguson. I'm the Deputy City Clerk. I'm going to go over the Boards and Commission Handbook. I presented, or I have a few of them printed out for you guys on where you're sitting, and as well as the acknowledgement form for you guys to sign. So we're going to go through that. So we're just going to make sure you guys understand the responsibilities of the commission members. To provide a valuable communication link between the community and the city council, attend all meetings. 3 or more unexcused absences will result in removal. Review the backup material ahead of time. Become informed on the agenda topics. Solicit feedback with your friends, neighbors, community members on any items before the commission. Be engaged. Hold on a second. It's being temperamental, sorry guys. The role of the chairperson is to coordinate with the staff liaison on the meeting agenda, preside over the meeting, encourage discussion among commission members, keep the meeting on track, ensure all participants are treated with respect. The role of the vice chair is to fulfill the responsibilities of the commission and assume the duties of the chair when they're absent. The role of the council liaison: to attend the board and commission meeting as an observer only, provide updates to the council, recommend appointments to fill vacancies, encourage and support members to achieve the mission within the boundaries established by council. The role of the staff liaison is to attend the commission meetings, assist with the chair with meeting management and decorum, work with the recording secretary to prepare the agenda and send it to the commission members. Communicate with the commission members, report to the city manager any issues with the commissioners' attendance, and to work with and report any resignations or vacancies with the city clerk's office. Encourage and support board and commission members to achieve their mission within the boundaries established by council. And then the role of the recording secretary is to attend the commission meeting, work with the staff liaison to prepare the agenda and send it to the commission members, communicate with the commission members, and then report, of course, to the city clerk's office with any resignations or vacancies. And then some important reminders is that the commissions shall have no financial operation or oversight authority over the city or city departments. Contact should be with the staff member assigned to the board or commission member. to pertain to the task at hand. If you are not clear on the policies and programs, please ask for clarification. Members should not ask for individual reports, favors, or special considerations. This got brought up because we had a commission that was asking for an item to be bumped out because they weren't going to be at a commission meeting. You cannot do that. We want to keep the meetings going accordingly. Members should recognize that while they work with staff and staff reports to the supervisor or the city manager, not the board or the commission, board and commissions cannot create subcommittees. And then requesting an agenda item. Agendas are set by the staff liaison. The commission member may request that an item be placed on a future agenda during the request for future reports and updates portion of the regularly scheduled meeting. A commission member may not ask that an agenda be held over due to their personal availability to attend the meeting. That's what I just spoke about. If the staff liaison determines that a request can be fulfilled by sending an email update or report to the commission, they may do so. Calling for a special meeting. A commission may request to call an additional special meeting if there is an item that needs to be heard before their next regularly scheduled meeting. Special meetings are subject to city manager's approval and meeting room availability. And do you guys have any questions for me?
Yes.
Okay.
In the past, we've had, not very often, but we've had a work session. Are those still permitted?
Yeah, you can request those as well. You just have to work with your staff liaison, which is Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one too.
Okay.
It says this was updated September 25, and I have an older version. What was
do you?
anything
Okay.
pertaining to our commission in particular, if anything was changed, or was it something else?
No, there wasn't anything that was changed within the commissions. I think that there was some typos on some of the vacancy, because we had one commission that used to be that had 7 on seat, and we went down to 5, and that was our transit advisory. And then there was a few others where the staff liaison was incorrect, but nothing really had changed from.
Just minor correction. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, any other questions, guys? And then that acknowledgement, if you can just either leave that with, bring it back to me, or give that to Janie, and she'll give that to me at the end of the meeting, or I can collect them as well. Yeah, that's the gist of that.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Let's get out of there.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 2. Approval from the minutes of the December meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read and review those minutes? Chair will accept a motion.
Submit a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the minutes be approved.
Pick one.
It was a race.
Somebody in the room did it.
Been moved and seconded that the minutes be accepted. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Next, call to the public and comments from the public. Do we have, there's a gentleman walking forward. I like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon,
Hang
Christopher
on,
Crane. Oh,
hang on.
Do you want me to announce what this is about?
Sure.
As you've called in the past, and I have to remind you that this is just to
Miss
listen, no
Platt,
comments?
Miss Platt, can you please move?
No comments, just listening?
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay. This is Christopher
Crane,
Cranny.
Cranny.
He's from here at Kingman, and he's talking, or he's representing People Against Sex Trafficking and Arizona Nonprofit Data Center at the Industrial Park.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So I would like to propose, on behalf of my nonprofit, People Against Sex Trafficking, a data center at the air park. And this could be on the FAA land release parcel, because it's a large parcel. I had started researching computer architecture methodologies, and I download Apache Druid. Unfortunately, somehow someone hacked into my computer after I downloaded Apache Druid, and I started researching how that might be possible. I think there's some sort of backdoor so that anyone who has the executable Apache Druid file can possibly hack into another computer that also has the Apache Druid executable file on it. Anyways, so that might not be a good computer architecture for the data center. And then I did more research on Apache Druid, and so it was developed by Meta Markets in 2011, and the technology was for real-time interactive analytics for high volume. In other words, the law enforcement could use it to fight against sex trafficking in real time. For example, when people use Snapchat, Snapchat's a known app where there's prostitution that goes on illegally here in Kingman, that kind of basically is common knowledge. Anyways, ironically, guess what happened to Meta Markets, who developed Apache Druid? It was bought by Snapchat in 2017. Surprise, surprise. The parent corporation is, of course, Snap Inc. It's a publicly traded corporation on the New York Stock Exchange. So yeah, I guess I'm back to the drawing board for researching a new computer architecture, but I'm expressing interest in running the data center. If the city would be so kind as to build a data center to fight against sex trafficking and give me the tools, skills, and knowledge to succeed at my nonprofit. So I'm expressing interest not only in running it, but in researching the computer architecture that it would require. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Moving forward, I believe next on the agenda is to elect a chairman for the commission. Are there any nominations?
Then I'll keep it the same. I'm going to nominate Dave Amespoker again to keep it the way it is, if no one's going to jump in and yank the chain one way or the other.
I'm going to do the same thing I did last year and jump in.
Was that a second?
No, I'm nominating myself.
Oh. Do we need seconds for these?
I think we do.
I thought we did too.
I-
Thank you. Yours.
Sorry, I second Dave.
Is there a second for Commissioner Larimore?
I'll second Brandon.
Okay. Do we want to have a silent vote like we did last year? Yeah. I think we need some paper. I should have given us a chance to give speeches, but
No, you shouldn't have.
Whole campaign.
Jenny, you're saying he carried the vote? Dave did? Okay.
Ms.
Okay.
Platt, can you please move the microphone a little bit closer so people could hear you? But what was the count for Amspo? So who got the chair, ma'am?
Dave Amspoker was elected chair.
Now we would, next item is to vote and appoint a vice chairman. Is there any nominations for vice chair?
Brandon.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for Brandon to be vice chair. Any other nominations? Since you're the only nominee, is there any objection to a unanimous vote in favor of Mr. Larimore to be vice chair? I'd entertain a motion. A motion,
A motion to elect Brandon vice chair.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. And our next item of business is the discussion with Mr. Tom Salerzo. Tom, are you available?
I am available.
Good.
All right, thanks, Doug, appreciate it. All right, guys, and for what it's worth, I would welcome and encourage and love that Paul is in here because.
Tom? Real
Yes.
quick, if you don't mind, get a little bit closer to the mic. If you can hear you.
I'm not gonna eat the mic though, and I'm not gonna eat a banana in public, okay, ever. So anyways. Yeah, I was just saying for the record that I'm glad Paul's in here because I have a lot of respect for him and I have a lot of respect for what they're doing with their project. And there's a lot of good overlap between what we're working on, what they're working on. And, great example, you go to Chino and you've got Yanks Aviation Museum sitting right next to Plains of Fame. So obviously great things can coexist. So just wanted to say that up front. My name is Tom Saluzzo. For those of you who don't know me, I am the founder, curator, historian of the Museum of the Great Wars. Some of you have seen some of my presentations before. Our current location, we're actually ground setting our small building on the corner of Butler and Van Nuys. We're over in New Kingman, Butler. A lot of people go, oh, well, that's not where I would put a museum, but it works well for us for what we're doing as a point to start. And starting is what we're doing. We have acquired a Lockheed PV-2 Harpoon. There's a picture of it up there on both sides. The Harpoon was built at the very end of World War II. Our particular aircraft was delivered to the Navy January of 1945. There were fewer than 300 Lockheed Harpoons built. They were part of the Ventura series, of which there was about 3,000 built. Probably the most famous thing that a Lockheed product did during the war was a Ventura, who actually found the crew from the torpedoed USS Indianapolis 4 days after they had been torpedoed and initiated the rescue of those poor guys. So these were a long-range patrol bomber. This particular aircraft's equipped with two Pratt & Whitney R2800 2,000 horsepower engines, driving a 13-foot Hamilton Standard propeller. They could carry 4,000 pounds of bombs. They've got 5 forward-firing 50-caliber machine guns. They are a very neat, cool airplane. What we would like to do, and what we've spoken to Mr. Amspoker a little bit, I've messaged Paul so he knows what's going on, and I talked to Doug a little bit. We would like to put this on public display up somewhere near the Terminal Airport Administration Building. We're not hard and fast on any particular area, although I'll forward through this here and we'll look at a couple of potential locations. The key is, the nice thing about this is we would like to set this up in a way where basically we're not doing anything permanent. The airplane's on wheels. We can use some nice professional concrete blocks to secure it and tie it down. We can put a temporary, put some stakes in the ground with a rope around it. So we don't have to get into any sort of crazy site planning and FAA ridiculousness. We want to keep this simple. This is something that we've talked to the Airport Cafe. They're super excited about it. Like I say, we've mentioned it to the guys over at the Kingman Aviation Heritage Foundation and let them know what we're going on with this. And this is a good thing for Kingman as a whole. This is something that's going to reflect back on our past as a military training base. It's going to be a way to honor everybody that lives here in Mojave County who's ever served in the military. And it will be the only combat aircraft on display in Mojave County when we bring this all together. So a couple of spots that we're looking at, and I'm just going to so for everybody's reference, spot A, if you're looking at this from above, to the right and just below, spot A is actually the airport administration building. Just to the left, that's actually the airport restaurant terminal building, so that kind of gives you an idea. But as you can see, there's a lot of unused space. There's location A. Location C, that's actually against a tree line. There's actually a building south of the C that used to be utilized by one of the air ambulance companies. Behind that is going over towards Jet Yard area. And of course, the intersection there at the top is the intersection of Airport Flight Line Drive and Mojave Airport Drive. So we're here today. We wanted to talk to you guys, say, hey, this is what we'd like to do. We're not asking you guys to say, you know, we want to, this is a, yes, we think this is totally worth doing. Let's figure out how to do this, work together, and move forward. Let's say this is something that is going to be beneficial to the community, and it's not going to cost the community anything. Our organization is who got the airplane donated. We're paying to transport it. We've got some different, we are a nonprofit. We've got some different donors. The airplane is going to be named the City of Kingman. So I cannot emphasize enough how much we are wanting to make this a Kingman thing for the future. And be one of those things that'll be neat. People can drive out there. They can go get a burger or a drink at the restaurant. They can walk, over to this airplane and check it out. It's a good size airplane. The wingspan on it is, let's see, go back one. Never mind. Anyways, it's a 75-foot wingspan, 56 feet long. One of the neat things that was missing on it when we first got it, it's complete on the outside. There's actually a tray that mounts up underneath the nose that holds the three of the 550 cal machine guns, and we've got that now. That was probably like the only one of those anywhere on the planet, and we found it buried in the corner of a hangar in Mesa, Arizona. So that's sort of what we're working on. Like I say, I've got some extra books that have everything that was in this presentation. I apologize for not being more tech savvy than what I am, but I've got those. Anybody wants a copy, you're welcome to it. And I turn it over to you guys for some questions and feedback and thoughts.
I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
But before you do that, I appreciate the sentiment earlier, Tom, but am I really supposed to be here for this discussion? Just trying to be legal.
If you think that there could be some type of conflict with monetary gains or so forth, then you might need to
Possibly,
excuse
yes.
yourself. It may be best just go ahead and excuse
Okay.
yourself, and we will.
All right.
Could
Mike?
we possibly get those? I'm sorry. to
Sure,
interrupt.
absolutely.
Can we get one of those?
May I approach the bench, Your Honor?
Thank you.
You've already got yours. There you are. There you are. You want me to smile? Just check it out. Oh, neat idea. Awesome. All right, Mr. Dave, go ahead.
Did any of these aircraft after World War II end up in the scrapyard that
No.
became Kingman Airport?
No, so everything that got scrapped here in Kingman was Army Air Force stuff. All the Navy stuff actually went to Litchfield, Arizona, is where
Okay.
it was. And in fact, this airplane was actually still in service until 1955. So it would have missed that whole scrapping. So this airplane, the Navy took delivery of it January of 45. It went up to, I'm going to say this improperly, probably a place called Whidbey Island in Washington. And it was assigned to Patrol Squadron 199, which was a unit that was training replacements. And so it served pretty much the rest of the war there. After the war, it went to Squadron 139 out of Pensacola and was actually with them for a couple of years as they sort of developed this whole post-war anti-submarine warfare thing, because everything was changing. They had gone from old submarines that had to stay surface to snorkels and all that, and then the follow-on airplane to this would become the Lockheed Neptune, and then eventually the P-3, which we're still using. And so that airplane did this, and then in the early 50s, it was sent to Litchfield. The Navy got rid of it, and it was turned into a fire bomber, where it operated at here in the state of Arizona for about 25 years.
I see. It was crewed with a crew of?
Five.
Five?
Yeah,
Obviously, some of those were probably gunners.
sure.
Were, obviously, I think we all know Kingman Airport
Right.
was
So the-
originally a gunnery training
Absolutely.
facility. Where was the Navy gunners trained?
Most of them were trained out on the East Coast. I want to say, again, in that Pensacola area is where most of that training
So
happened.
they weren't trained here
But they
either.
weren't trained here. Like I say, this was strictly, the Army and Navy did very identical yet separated things during World War II. And so, in fact, this is actually uses the same top turret as you would have seen in a B-17, the same techniques, the same everything, so. And I think what's worth adding to this is, right now, we're working on restoring our Beech AT-7, which there are examples of that were here at Kingman.
The Beech 18?
The Beech 18. Paul's partner Tim is restoring an AT-6. We are also going to ultimately be getting a BT-13 for our museum next year after this Harpoon project is done. So between the two entities, we actually have a basic trainer, an advanced trainer, a multi-trainer, and then a combat aircraft. And that's where I think, like I say, that even though it's two separate things working together, we can give people a pretty good overview of, even though the Navy operated one airplane, the Army operated another, they still did the same basic things. And the fact is it would be super cool to go get a B-17 and be like, hey, we're going to put a B-17 on display, but they're a little in shy supply right now, so,
There's not many of those around.
There have been exactly 2 change hands in the last 10 years, and the one that was in the worst condition was $5.5 million. So.
Other questions?
So, just to be clear, this, since it was naval, it had no association with this particular area?
No, not with this particular area as far as Kingman Army Airfield. It does with the fact that, my next door neighbor, her dad was a top turret gunner on a Ventura, so.
I understand that, but, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure with
Yeah.
the facility.
It's just ancillary to being a World War II aircraft.
Correct.
Obviously, on our agenda, it wasn't, this is for discussion. I don't think we can vote on anything.
Sherry, I'm Smoker. What my recommendation is right now is, because I did hear some information I'm going to have to go do some research on. Several is going to be is a lot of these locations could be found in easement areas, so I'm going to have to look into that. We also, if I'm not mistaken, I just heard possible donation to the city of Kingman, so I got to definitely go through.
There's no donation to the city of Kingman anywhere in that
Okay, I
conversation.
thought originally you said that now it's looking like
No,
donation.
I have
city of
had people
Kingman.
make donations to our museum to help bring the airplane up
okay,
here.
okay.
But this is not being donated to the city of Kingman. It is being offered to the city of Kingman to be put on public display.
Okay.
And then the nice thing too about, and you're gonna find this as you do your research into your easements, if we do what we were talking about, it's not a permanent thing in an easement. So it's one of those things where it's like, if it has to be moved for some reason, we hook a tow bar to it and we move it.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still have some other
No,
stuff.
I
You just can't take items and put them on city property, such as risk management, so forth.
Right.
Sorry, but there's some questions, so if there's anything in here that you guys just want to sit back and discuss, I'll take from that, and we'll take that and use that and do some research for the next meeting. So this is just discussions of any questions or concerns or anything that you have that you would like us to further research.
Well, I personally like A or C much more than I do B. I believe B is already spoken for, possibly. But A would be a good location. should this be something that we want to do. I like the idea. I think anything we can do to promote aviation, and this would certainly be something promoting aviation, is a good thing. We have some other people that want to say anything?
I think it'd be cool to be there. I think it would. Especially,
Into your mic.
I think it'd be cool to have it there. I think it'd be a cool
Well,
thing to have, and it would support.
Right, and that's just it. This gets people into the mindset, you know, in talking about their project, you know, whatever that time frame ends up being. It gets people into the mindset of, oh, hey, there's stuff to go see at the airport. You know, the problem you have when you have a museum at the airport is it's strictly a destination. You have to want to go there. You're not just driving along. It's not like, oh, hey, and you know. And so, you know, this helps them. It helps the restaurants, all of them really, even though we're, you know, working with the Kingman, you know, the Kingman Airport Cafe, all the other restaurants that are out there are going to benefit from this too. Oh, hey, there's an airplane. Come check it out. I mean, there are literally 2 of these anywhere in the state of Arizona. There's 16 of them roughly anywhere in the country. And I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have something that was here, but, you know, the city of Kingman had that opportunity in 1947. They were supposed to get a B-17. It's actually in Arizona highways that Kingman had a B-17 allocated to them from the scrapyard, from Depot 41, and they turned it down. So we can't do anything about what happened 80 years ago, but we can do something today and go, you know what? Is it as cool as a B-17? No, it's not. But all painted up in its tricolor navy paint job. It's going to be a sharp looking thing. And I mean, it would be a very cool thing for people to see. The EAA, whenever you guys have things, you know, kids can come check it out. You know, Paul, Tim, whatever, whoever, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's a win for the community. And it costs the community literally nothing. That's the big thing. It's not like we're coming here going, oh, hey, I want you guys to pay for that. I mean, hell, I'll lease the piece of ground and pay for the tie down if that's what it takes. Because I'm that into this is what I'm doing. This is my life's journey building this museum.
Sir, I understand, you know, the tie down and all that, but have you given any consideration to a fence around it for security, safety, that type of aspect?
Well, that's an awesome thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So our initial thought had been, do we put a fence around it? And then we get into, now there's environmental impact studies and all
Exactly.
sorts of other craziness. As opposed to a nice, maybe median would be just putting a chain around it or something like that. The reality is you can fence off whatever you want to fence off. If somebody's intent on doing something dumb or stupid, they're going to do it, no matter how hard we really want them to not do it. And that's just sort of what I've noticed out of the humans over the last 50 years I've been alive. But I don't think that that's a bad idea. I just think that if it's something that could be done without causing undue ridiculousness, sure. But it's not a make or break thing for us at all. Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Chair and Spoker, just through that discussion, a lot of items from here, I'm just gonna have to go through and do a double check with the city, see what they're fine with. And then next commission meeting, we'll bring this forward for some type of recommendation by staff. Sorry, I didn't want to put any action in here because I had a few family issues that popped up. I had to go attend. I could not research this in a timely manner, plus my other job. And I think that if we made anything set in stone, it would have been done, how can we put it, ill-informed for the commission to make a decision.
I completely understand, and I don't have a problem with that. We can decide on it at the next meeting, which is, I believe, going to be in April.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So moving on to reports. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hello. Good evening, or good afternoon, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I am filling in for Terry today to give you all an update on the industrial park roads, which is agendized for you all. So essentially, the project started February 9th. Construction had begun. They've gone through, they've removed all the native soil that was on the two road alignments, which is Government Way and Transport Road. This native soil has been replaced with some AB that meets the design spec. Ramps and driveways have been complete to transition, into the properties that are adjacent to the two roadways. And they're currently working on V ditches or some sort of drainage, stormwater drainage on the sides of the roads. They still have scheduled to complete the paving process, which is supposed to happen, I believe, next week. And then the project is expected to be complete by March 31st. That is the completion of the information. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, here's the monthly check for the airport, projects that we have moving forward, stuff that's been moving a little bit slow, and what's going on, just a brief update. As everybody is aware, the actual airport development, we could not reach an agreement with the developers. So City Council had made a determination after several, almost a year worth of negotiations, that it's no longer should be pursued, and they decided to terminate all negotiating contracts with the airport development. I have no idea what that is at the bottom, IT. What just popped up? It's a ghost messing with it right now, but I can still keep moving forward while they're trying to make that correction. Now they're going into paragraphs. We have received a new business on the airport. They just started. It's pretty much a soft opening. In the future, they will be doing a much more grand opening. It is Classic Air Medical, where we had Guardian Air Medical Station just adjacent to the airport admin building. This group has came in. They have an agreement to operate out of our airport for air medical transport, and they're currently working with Guardian to take over or assume their lease at this present time. But we do now have another new medical helicopter company operating at our airport and in a position to service our community. Taxiway Bravo project. We got the final closeout for that project. All the information, we just have to go to the council tomorrow for a minor grant extension. But it looks like we're going to be saving, it's appearing to be around $200,000. But unfortunately, that all goes back to ADOT, because ADOT is funding this project. For the Taxiway Delta rehab project, we are reviewing that. We have a little bit of, we discovered a little problem with the geometry at the Taxiway Delta and Charlie intersection. And we threw out some recommendations and reviewed the plans, and the engineers are making a correction to that. And that impacts the lighting, that impacts the geometry. And one of the beautiful things is if I know a lot of our commissioners, when we were redoing our airport master plan several years back, we are looking at moving Taxiway Charlie off to the east a little bit more. So with Charlie moving off to the east, I'll be honest with you, saved us a little money because we don't have to remove a lot of asphalt and redo a lot of lighting in that section. We only have to make a minor adjustment to the lighting. So the engineers are going back and they're reviewing those plans and making those adjustments.
Do you have a picture to point out? Some of our commission members are not familiar with Taxiway Bravo, Delta, Charlie. Do you have anything that we can show us?
I'll bring that up in the next commission, sir. A map of those potential projects, so that's what the commission will like, just to show you what projects are moving forward and where the adjustments are being made.
I'm pretty sure Commissioner Gaines and myself know where you're talking about. But for the commission members that are not pilots and are not at the airport on a frequent basis, they may not know where you're talking about.
We'll give them something next commission meeting, showing everybody the location.
Thank you.
For the PAPI project, we just submitted, we received in February all the bids, and we submitted a recommendation to ADOT for a company, and if ADOT is okay with that, the total bid for the actual project for construction, rounding this up, is about $190,000 for updating our PAPIs. The second one right behind that was $219,000, and I believe it's Mesquite that we are looking at moving forward with the award. If ADOT, we have a meeting with them tomorrow, if they're okay with all those, and we're probably expecting not the council meeting tomorrow, but the following council meeting to go forth with council approval for moving forward with this project. And we're praying that we'll get this done before the end of this fiscal year. For the Wincombe project, we're estimating that the Wincombe project, relocating the wind cones along our primary runway, was going to take around 2 weeks. Actually, they got done a little bit early, a week and a half. Thank you. I didn't like seeing an entire runway shut down for a week straight.
I was going to commend them. I came out to the airport thinking I was going to have to take off on 3-5 because we're 1-7, and even they were done with it Wednesday, and they were scheduled to go through Friday. That was great.
It is beautiful, and if you ever speak to our maintenance staff, they are really excited because the wind cones are not 1970 wind cones anymore. They're new, they're updated, they're LEDs, so they should almost last forever. And now they're a frangible system where they could just lower the wind cones, repair them, and then raise them, whereas in the past they had to pull up a truck to it, climb on top of the truck to get to the actual windsock at the very top. So they are extremely excited. They like anything that makes maintaining a lot easier. They love it, and they're all for this. They're all for it. Navate and Lights Design Grant. We already have the FAA grant for that. We're waiting for the ADOT grant. That's a meeting that we're going to have a discussion with them tomorrow. Once we have that ADOT grant, we go with notice to proceed to CNS to begin redesigning our airfield lights. Please keep in mind, this is for the lights on the airfield to switch them over to LED, hopefully save us a lot of money. Also, a beautiful thing, LEDs last forever. They don't go out as much. So it improves how much time our staff has to go out there and spend maintaining lights. So this will be airfield lights, signs, and in the past, the commission requested if we could push forward installation of runway in lights to all the runways, and we managed to just go ahead and tag this into this project. So we're going to try to get 2 projects condensed down into one.
Doug, not that we really need lights on Bravo because it's such a little traffic down there, but is that going to include installing lights in that section?
Not at this time, sir.
Not yet?
Not
Okay.
There's not enough traffic out there. Hopefully
Yep.
in the future with future build-outs,
Fingers
we'll be in that
crossed.
position.
I hope so too. Yep. Thank you.
For ramp maintenance, here's the beautiful thing. City Council okayed this about a couple of months ago, but they blessed. We're looking at doing some maintenance on pavement repair and maintenance at the airport, almost $250,000. One of the bigger sections that we're actually eyeing, and we're looking at scheduling for this work to be around April 20th, is filling all the large cracks over at the terminal parking lot. We've had some individuals get a little bit concerned with the size of the cracks. The ones that could, especially where you could lose a shoe or foot in. So they're going to go through, they're going to cut them out wide, and then they're going to put an asphalt down the middle, make it a little bit safer. The other section is, and that's going to be around 10 locations. The other section, the bigger one, is around our fuel island. So we're looking at saw cutting and filling around 800 linear feet worth of cracks. That's the real large ones around the fuel farm where a lot of our tenants go into the fuel, and including our transients, make that area a little bit simpler. And my whole goal here is to knock out sections now. In the past, we've been doing something called mastic seal, which was supposed to resolve any cracks over 1.5 inches, but we just didn't like the outcome for that. Whenever we were filling in those cracks, within a year, they were starting to sink. So we got Sunland out there, they took a look, and they put in the recommendation of doing a saw cut and fill. On the other side, with that, around our T-hangers, I know a lot of our pilots who go out there, they could see that that asphalt around the T-hangers is turning a light gray. It's losing its sheen, or it's petroleum based that keeps everything connected together. So what we're going to end up doing is going through and doing some minor crack fill in those areas, and then doing a surface coating over those areas, extend the life of that asphalt, and then go back and repave the center lines going in and out of the T-hangers.
And when is that going to be, do you think?
Sir?
When will that project happen?
We're looking at starting April 20th. We're trying to set up a meeting so we
date,
could,
okay.
so we could break this out and actually get it out to our tenants, estimated times when certain sections will be closed. But the longest sections is going to be near those T-hangers. And some of those tenants, we will be working with them where if they need to access their aircraft at that time, to have it outside in one of our tie-down locations. But if they don't need it, then we're just going to have to tell them, please avoid that area. You can see that that actual access gate to that area will be shut down at that time, because the last thing we want is somebody's brand-new car to get a petroleum spray along the side.
Thank you.
But this is something we're going to try picking up, is doing a little bit more, get a little bit more aggressive with these larger cracks by doing saw cuts and filling them, and we have to do it out over certain years to get us a little bit ahead of the wear and tear on the transient apron pavement. We have heard word from the FAA, and they requested us, and we submitted a grant application for design of rehabilitation of the transient apron. We were really not expecting that, but when they said push this forward, we're going to accept it, because that was the one where we were going to have to pay the money to get it done, and they said go ahead and submit it. So the FAA is working with us, and a lot of times when they say, hey, we'll pay for the design, usually means further down the road they will pay for the actual construction. This is estimated around $4.8 to $5 million for rehabbing the transit apron.
Will the design put a break between the taxiway and the ramp?
We have no plans for doing that little green island locations at this time. Is that what you're talking about, the location?
Yeah, either the island location or tearing out part of the ramp that is right next to the taxiway.
Oh, Taxiway Delta is its own project, and this will cover that area. Taxiway Delta, they have to extend it out so far into the ramp area, but
Right.
it's when they do the transient apron ramp, it's supposed to be all the asphalt, redoing those sections.
Okay. I landed in Parker this morning, and Parker has a strip of dirt in between the runway and the taxiway, and another strip of dirt between the taxiway and the ramp. And I know that's what the FAA wants. But the island that you're talking about would fill that in.
No, sorry, sir. I was thinking that you're talking about another dimension change, and I'll go over that. You know what? Let me set something up of potential future projects for our next meeting, and just go over some of these conversations, because I think it's been about 1.5 years since we had this. So let me go ahead and get that established, just so everybody's aware of the potential future projects and what we're looking at moving forward.
Okay, thanks.
So where's the money coming from that's going towards these repairs for the cracks and everything?
So these crack repairs, these that we're currently about to go on go, a little less than $250,000, that's coming out of the actual airport enterprise funds. There is no grant funding for this. The FAA does not provide any grant funding for maintenance of actual surfaces. They only provide for reconstruction and updating.
Do we have enough recurring revenue coming in to pay for all of the repairs that are needed for these things, or is this just like coming and going as there is money?
This is similar to how the city, where we look back and we work with our finance department and see how much we have, what we need to address, and then from there budget out. Very similar to how the city handles its arterial and its other roads. If we take it all at once, it will be painful, and we'll go through all of our revenue or all the residual money that we have. Keep in mind, Tina's last meeting, she said we have about $5 million. And to reconstruct that entire apron is going to be around $5 million. So if the FAA is willing to pick that up, I'm all for it. And I'll rather just fill in these major critical safety areas until after we get the Delta project done. And then we start saving up our money, or the FAA starts saving up their money, their entitlement funds, so we get tackle on the terminal ramp.
So is that what's going to be in the next meeting then, is when you discuss that, is what you're looking at from the FAA stuff and what we have money for individually?
Well, it's just going over what the FAA is projecting out, coming out in the future for funding. That always changes. Please keep in mind the FAA is at the mercy of Congress like everybody else. In the past, we have received, thumbs up, yeah, we'll fund this, and then it turns out it says we can't fund it, it's been pushed back. Like Delta project was supposed to start this year. They said they don't have the funds, so that's being pushed back till next year. And then there's even another chance it could be divided out into further more grants, which pushes it even further back. It's all at the mercy of the federal government, Congress. ADOT, they do try to pick up their 10% or 5% share of each project. Every now and then when they get enough funds, they will provide assistance with pavement maintenance programs. If the commission can remember, about 2 years ago, they completely went back, crack sealed and seal coated our crosswind runway and taxiway Charlie because they had additional funds for that. Sometimes that's hard to get because that's also going through our state legislation, how much they're willing to move forward and pay. So a lot of this, even though we put that into our budget, we're just crossing our fingers hoping that those funds are approved by everybody and we'll be able to go in and tackle these projects. If not, then some of these projects, that's when we sit down and we say, okay, Delta's absolutely necessary at this time. We put that forward, we tell FAA, we tell everybody, and they start saving up that money based upon how much Congress is willing to allocate for these projects.
Doug, now you brought that up, that Delta's being pushed back until next year. Like on the southwest end there's a lot of degradation going on with pea-sized gravel, and it just happens constantly. Is there some way in the meantime to seal that stuff, to like clean it off and seal it so it doesn't degrade and pick up, like propellers picking up rocks all the time and stuff?
I don't want to say no to that. I'll explore that option to see if there is, see if we can, if there's something we can do. When Sunland comes out, I'll have them take a look at that area, see if there's some type of sealing we could do in that location.
Yeah.
But please keep in mind, this is much deeper than just the surface.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so even if we do some type of spray coat over the top, it could be just a few months, and it starts breaking back across. It starts breaking apart.
I know you guys can run the sweeper over there, I guess, more, I suppose, but it's only so many people and hours in the day, so.
Which that's kind of coming up to the next thing.
Okay.
We budgeted for a new sweeper. We're expecting it to come in about 8 months from now. So it's going to be a brand new sweeper. It's not going to break down every single week or have an issue. So it's going to have much stronger suction capabilities and do the job hopefully in 1 or 2 passes instead of 5 or 6. Yeah. And if you guys are not aware, whenever the guys go out there and they sweep after haboob, that sand and that dirt actually eats a hole in the tubes of the sweeper. So we often have to go back and have city fleet weld some type of plate over the top so we can still keep using it. But we're going to completely replace the sweeper and get something new. 4650 Flight Line Drive. This is Dan Kirkland's. They've already began construction. They're estimating around October that's their target goal, to complete with the construction of his hangar. So it is underway. FAA coordinated process, FAA land release process. FAA did submit a letter just requesting additional information to the city. We responded back all the information that they wanted. Hopefully we answered all their questions so we can start moving forward with publication of this land release. We're waiting on the FAA to get back with us with a response. Hangar occupancy wait list. For Hangar A, we have 5 available, 5 occupied, 6 on the wait list at this time. For B and C T hangars, all 30 are occupied. We have 7 on the wait list. For D hangars, all 10 are occupied with 1 on the wait list, and cover tie downs, we're showing all 10 occupied at this time. For the actual budget, as of January 2026, we usually get the February out. Unfortunately, I was out of town when I had to get this finalized, so all we have is the one for January. At the end of January, we've been through 58% of our overall fiscal year. Total revenue from the airport so far, $870,000, 200, and we've already expensed $970,350. For the industrial park, we have revenue. We've had $111,000 roughly, and then we've only expended $25,900 of the funds as of January. Total amount of revenue, $981,775. Total expenses, $996,250. Please keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is encumbered from projects that we kind of had to slow down a little bit. So it's not actively being spent, but we have tagged it on to those projects. And if those projects come under budget, then it's going to relieve funds. So just keep that in mind. This includes encumbered projects. Any questions?
Do you have any kind of update on the gate asphalt reconstruction? You brought that up, I think, a little while ago about working on the gates or something. Or
We submitted that into next year's capital projects.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
For the actual fuel cells, this kind of shows you that we're kind of going back into the before COVID eras. Flying's kind of slowed down a little bit. People have slowed down, so we are seeing that trend go a little bit down this year and a little bit beginning last year. So we're expecting flying to pretty much balance out. We don't expect that after COVID, when money was being flooded into everybody's pockets, so everybody was going out, plus they're tired of being inside their houses all day. So everything's kind of bouncing back, as I said, back to reality. No more free money coming around. So for these fuel prices, it's going to start tracking down. We're expecting to keep tracking down, and then it's going to start balancing out. Any questions?
No questions? Thank you.
And I believe we also lost our Zoom connection. Janie, are you still seeing us on Zoom? Okay. I guess they did.
We're going to move forward to announcements by commissioners. This time we'll start on the left.
None at this meeting.
I've got something for speaking of museum stuff, the Aviation Heritage Center of Kingman. We've secured a visit from Sentimental Journey Flying Fortress B-17, which will be October 4th through 6th. And this is mainly for our museum wanted to get it to come here and to have a celebration of Flying Fortress Parkway. which will be open by then, and hopefully involve the city a little bit more with doing a ribbon cutting out at the place. There'll be rides and tours. Unfortunately, it's not over a full weekend. It'll be a Sunday when they arrive, and Monday and Tuesday. Monday will be the celebratory flight over the Parkway, and they're going to be giving rides also at a cost, of course. And nothing's cheap, especially on the B-17, and it's only 4 that are airworthy right now. So we've been working on trying to get this thing here for quite a while, and as you can imagine, it's scheduled out for a long period of time, but with a little bit of arm wrestling, we've convinced them to come in between stops. They'll be coming in from St. George at an air event there, and then on that Sunday, and then stay with us for a few days. And it should be a very interesting event, and hopefully it'll get a lot of people out there to see it.
That'll be Sentimental Journey?
Sentimental Journey from Mesa, I think is where it's from. Is that where it's? Yeah, it's Mesa, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's quite a thing. If you guys have never seen a B-17 up close in person, it's impressive. And it's fun to watch fly and great to watch start up and taxi around. It's quite a thing. So hopefully all of you can make it there during that time period and check it out. So.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
No, sir.
On the subject of the B-17, I had a chance to fly a B-17, the aluminum overcast, owned by the Experimental Aircraft Association, and it is an outstanding memory. The local EAA chapter will be flying children on the 30th and 31st from the Golden Valley Christian Academy, and we'll be doing a EAA Young Eagles Rally on the 11th. So if you know children ages 8 up to, but not including 18, send them over to the airport. We have a ground school, and then after the ground school, they go for an airplane ride for free. The 30th and 31st of March, and that's closed. That's only for the children of the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at the Golden Valley Christian Academy. And then the 11th of April is a Saturday, and that will be done out of the terminal. And we hope to have a real good turnout. Everybody, and 8 to, but not including 18, yes. Is there any request for future reports or updates from commissioners to staff? There being none, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment. Or we can just sit here.
I'll submit a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Oh,
Second.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.